also locally. Um, Getting all the social media set up so we can. I've been promoting it, so we should have a good audience today. We're getting everything set up here at the office. We have our guest. She's going to be running against our current Congressman Bacon. Um, I'll get everything set up. She's live in the studio. Yesterday, she took over 24th Street. Her and her constituency. They had a big rally yesterday, as well as a lot of other candidates that came out that's underneath the ticket, and that's why when you vote, you have to vote along down ballot. You know what I mean? So, um, you know how these stars are, Omaha. They got their own nouns, verbs, adjectives, prepositional phrases, all yes, and predicates to introduce themselves. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, and then we'll get right into the dialogue. So, how you doing, Mademoiselle?
I'm doing great. I'm Cara Eastman, running to be your congresswoman to represent the 2nd District of Nebraska.
All right, all right. So now, how has the campaign been so far?
It's been good. It's been a little weird with COVID, of course, but I've got a great team, and we're excited. There's a lot of momentum, and people are looking forward to voting Donald Trump out, getting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in, and having a new representative who's going to work with them to get some stuff done.
Right. Now, being a woman, and this actually being a historic year just for women in politics, period. What would this mean?
Well, it would mean a lot of things. I mean, not just as a woman, but as a Democrat running. I mean, think about it. So if we flip the presidency and we flip the Senate, which it looks like that's possible, expand the House majority, we will still have, if I don't get elected, then we'll still have an all Republican delegation from Nebraska. Nobody in DC is going to want to work with them. So It's even more important that we have somebody represent this district who's going to be able to get stuff done in DC and with the current delegation.
Well, it is. You said it true. I mean, every high position of leadership is ran by the Republicans.
That's right.
Man, that's. I mean, how did they do that? I mean, honestly, I'm just trying to figure out how they actually did it.
Right.
Because we had Ben Nelson was there, and
Bob Kerrey.
Yep. I mean.
Yep.
What's wrong? Are you the savior?
Well, I don't know if I'm the savior, but I'm excited and honored to be doing this because we need to start moving Nebraska forward. In doing this for 4 years now, what I've learned is that Nebraska does get left behind, that we're viewed as flyover country, and we need somebody who's going to be a loud, proud advocate for the state and for this district, and somebody who actually cares about all parts of the district.
Right. Obviously, tell the people a little bit about your background, because you just didn't get in politics. You just didn't start caring about people just this cycle.
Right. So my background is in social work. I've run nonprofits for over 20 years. And in Omaha, I ran Omaha Healthy Kids Alliance, where I raised $13 million to invest in green and safe and healthy housing for kids. A lot of that money, a lot of that work was done in North Omaha. So I moved here in 2006, started the organization then. In 2008, we got an EPA grant for about $250,000, specifically for education and outreach in 68111 here. Okay. And we worked with a number of local community organizations to provide education around lead poisoning prevention. Okay. And then that same year, we got a $2 million HUD grant for the same zip code, where we partnered with New Community Development Corporation, which is now NeighborWorks. And we fixed up a lot of homes with that money. But I worked with the Abide Network, Charles Drew, Urban League, 100 Black Men. And so I got to know the community really well. And I feel lucky to have that experience because not many people running for Congress have actually been in houses in North Omaha.
Right.
And seen the living conditions for that some people, and not just in North Omaha, but all over the city.
All over the city.
But we've got work to do here. And I said this yesterday at our press conference, but I mean it. I'm tired of seeing politicians show up for ribbon cutting, show up for parades, or even show up and pay lip service and really not prioritize the places in the district that need it the most. And certainly when we drive around North Omaha, there's some great stuff happening, but a lot more work that needs to be done.
What is your plan for North Omaha on November 4th? What's your plan? Because obviously you cover basically the whole district. What, to the river? Well, what is your district?
It's all of Douglas County and then a part of Sarpy County. That's not where Offutt is.
Is your priority going to be where the most need is versus where the least need is? Because right now it's like all the money goes to all the agendas based towards that people that already have already.
Well, that's right. I mean, so look at. I've been involved in initiatives that were intended for blighted communities, right? So a long time ago, the city had the Re-Energize program. And the goal with that was that we were going to create energy efficient housing in North O. And I watched that, the way that program was run, and it wasn't run right. And so they ended up moving the program out to West Omaha, where a lot of wealthier people were able to take advantage of it. The same thing has happened with the opportunity zones. And my opponent talks a lot about opportunity zones. Great idea in theory, but right now the majority of money has gone to wealthy developers. So we need.
Why is that? And how can a little guy like myself get in a playing field? Because on this side of the street, we are eligible for opportunity zone.
Yep.
Funding.
Yep.
How can a little guy that don't have that many resources, but can still get in the game?
That's a great question. Well, what we've seen is that in Omaha, the majority of the money has gone to developers, to wealthy developers. But I actually have a friend who in other parts of the country has started a venture capitalist fund so that small businesses can capitalize on the Opportunity Zone project. We need to bring that stuff here.
Right.
We need somebody who's going to be able to connect with the community and listen to people like you who say, hey, I want to take advantage of this, but we don't have this program set up. My background is in setting up programs, getting things accomplished. So I want to be a congressperson who does things for the district as well as for the country.
Because it makes a difference. People ask how I got the radio station. Legislation. I read legislation. Things happen legislatively to move communities on a local level.
That's right.
What legislation is going to move quickly? Because you see how it's so divided in Washington. That's why I really feel there needs to be more women in Washington, because men are not getting it done.
Well, that's a good point. But yeah, I mean, I think that, look, I mean, the problem right now is the House has passed a number of really good bills. They're all sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk. And with the makeup of Congress right now, things aren't getting done. But I think that can change. And even if we look at some of the people who have won primaries this year around the country, the makeup of Congress is changing. We look at Richie Torres, Jamal Bowman, Mondaire Jones, Cori Bush, Marie Newman. There's been some great people who stood up and ran for Congress who have won their primaries and are now going to be in Congress to expand that base of people who are running not for a job, not for a position, but because they actually want to get things done for their communities.
Right. How can you convince those that's on the fence? Right now, I think the polling is, you guys, it's basically even, isn't it?
Got a new poll. I'm up 3 points.
Okay. So when it's that close, how can you get the people, like, it's like Humpty Dumpty sit on the wall? So how can you get those people that's on the fence to come on your side?
Well, first, I tell people, give me your phone number. I'll call you. Let's have a conversation. And if anybody's interested in that, we're easy to find on social media these days. Direct message your number and I will give you a call at your convenience. But if we look at the difference between what I'm talking about and what my opponent has done, he voted 5 times to take away Obamacare. He has no plan for healthcare in this country. He even said in a debate, I think that was last night, that he wanted that his plan people could like go to Iowa and get healthcare. What does that mean? He's voted 5 times to take away Obamacare.
Right.
And now he says he's for it, sort of, but he just voted during the pandemic against expanding it. He just voted against lowering prescriptions. He just voted against protections for pre-existing conditions. And We know that communities of color are disproportionately impacted by COVID. COVID will be a pre-existing condition. Look at all the people in our district who are drowning in healthcare costs, who can't afford to take medication, rationing medication, who think about people who actually weigh, should I go to the doctor? Oh no, I'm afraid I'm going to get hit with that copay. I don't know if I reach my deductible. How much is all this going to cost? There's just a better system. And Don Bacon doesn't have a plan for that at all.
You'll go with the ACA. What would you do with ACA?
So
because they say that you are radical and that you're trying to get rid of it, and the price is gonna go out the roof.
Right.
Is that true? Because I know ads on TV, they over exaggerate.
Well, they lie, and so radical is voting to take away healthcare from people. Radical is voting against expanding healthcare during a pandemic. What's not radical is talking about expanding healthcare, just like the voters wanted in 2018 in Nebraska, and my opponent was against then. There's a bill in Congress that I like. It's called the Medicare for All Act. And the reason I like it is because it eliminates the copays, premiums, deductibles, out-of-pocket costs that Americans pay. I like it because it gives people freedom to choose their provider. So we don't have that whole in-network, out-of-network BS.
Okay.
I like it because there's no more surprise billing. I like it because it allows medical providers to have the freedom to actually provide medical care to people without having to run things through an insurance company.
Right. Now those two connect, surprise billing, insurance companies. So that means when we go to the grocery store, we got a list of things that we actually bought.
Right.
So when we go to the doctor, we're gonna actually get a list of an actual list that we can understand and comprehend. And so we know that the pricing is fair, not only for us, but also for the insurance companies. So we keep prices low.
Well, the nice thing about the bill that I like is it eliminates all of that.
Okay.
And because we're the only industrialized nation that doesn't provide universal health care.
The only nation?
Only industrialized nation.
Why?
Because
we got money. Then we got money. Then we got money.
We have so much money, but politicians in this country are bought and sold by pharmaceutical companies and health insurance companies. They're there for them, not for you.
Mutual Omaha, don't give nobody no money. Give us some money.
Well, and mutual, I mean, so that's the other part. People say, well, what about insurance employees? Well, first of all, in Omaha, the majority of insurance that we have is not for processing medical claims. But nonetheless, the insurance companies know that this is coming. And they're already laying people off because of automation. But the bill that I like, HR 1384, actually provides funding for retraining. I mean, we would have to add a lot of additional resources if we're going to provide healthcare to everybody because there's so many people that don't have it. But look at in this pandemic, how many people have lost their healthcare because they lost their job.
Right.
People are starting to see that coupling those two is dangerous.
Right. Now, would you now they're talking about Trump going after each agency and gutting them out and doing crazy stuff. Would you be, because people are researching cancer. I had a good friend of mine that died of cancer at 20-something. Everybody researching cancer. We got these big centers put millions of dollars. But to me, it's really simple. It's really simple science. When you put herbicides and pesticides, when you put poison on your food, eventually you're gonna die, ingest it. And it's gonna cause cell mutation. Why aren't we looking at that? Especially you represent Nebraska. We're supposed to be leaders, not followers. That's
absolutely right. And the reason is that Don Bacon and Donald Trump have rolled back protections for the environment. They've gutted the EPA. And because they prioritize the companies like Monsanto over the farmers. And farmers want to be able to thrive. I mean, we're spending billions of dollars bailing out farmers right now because of the failed trade deals that Donald Trump made, because of the tariffs, and because of flooding, and now because of COVID. And in Nebraska,
and hurricanes. I mean, the hurricanes.
Well, we've got hurricanes around right. Well, and then around the country, right? We've got hurricanes, we've got fires. We have to do something about climate change as well. But we don't have time for politicians to come around. We need people who want to do this to actually have action. Like, we need movement right now. And you're right, Nebraska should be a leader in wind, in solar, and renewables, in organic produce. I mean, there's so many things that we could be doing better. But instead, what you see are stupid ads that say, I want to ban beef and make people
They
eat.
got an ad like that?
Yeah, make people eat tofu, which is funny because we're the 5th leading producer of soybeans, but we're 2nd in beef production. So
Right.
I don't want to ban anything. I don't believe in austerity. I believe in prosperity.
Okay. What other misperception that's out there that you want to discuss?
Other misperception. Well, I mean, I think what we need right now is just for people to understand why I want to do this.
Okay.
I've spent my entire career in mission-based organizations, just trying to help people, and because that's what I do. That's just what I like to do, and I like to solve problems. And I think there are a number of problems that we could solve if we had the political will to do it. And yes, it's about resources, but as you said, we've got the money in the United States. We just need the political will to make things happen. And as somebody who's seen the effect that lead poisoning can have in communities like North Omaha, where little babies are getting poisoned in their homes, we need to invest in housing. We need to get rid of the lead service lines that we have, because we could be Flint at the switch of a water source.
What is your background, Cara?
I have a master's degree in clinical social work and a bachelor's in sociology.
So we got some similarities. So a lot of sociology, psychology. So you understand this population, how people interact. So you looking. Do you judge problem from the absolute? Is that how you evaluate and make a decision on how you solve problems?
So social workers are trained to look at things from all sides, to look at things from a systems perspective. So if we're talking about housing, well, we have to look at who's living in the housing, who owns the housing, what mortgage lenders are involved, how much does this house, what does it cost, what neighborhood are we in? So you look at things from all these different sides and say, what's the best solution to this? But I think the other thing is, I know that as an outsider, and as a member of Congress, I will be even more of an outsider. I get that. But I need people who can connect me to the community, and things have to happen from within the community. This isn't about leadership at the top saying to people, here's what you need. This is about leadership at the top sitting down and listening to people who live and work in this community, saying, okay, what do you all need? How do we come to some kind of consensus? And that's really how we did things at Omaha Healthy Kids. We always had community buy-in, and that's why we were so successful. Great.
Now, your campaign, you've been at it for how long now?
Well, I'm technically 4 years.
4 years. Has it been worth the journey?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And it's funny because my friend Ben Gray told me that when I first decided to run, he said, you need to look at this as a 4-year run. And I probably laughed when he first said it, but he was right. Took me a while to get my name out there. We've worked really hard, but I've had the opportunity to get to know so many people in our community doing amazing work. So many people who feel like their voice is never heard.
Right.
And I'm not, I'm asking people, I want to earn their vote. And I also think we need to bring politics. We need politicians to work for the people, because they seem to think that they have it the other way. So I have committed to having advisory groups made up of leaders in North Omaha. We've even committed to having our office in North Omaha, because this is the bastion of democratic politics in our city.
Yeah, it is, man. The great Frank Lemire, I interviewed him often, and he would say that North Omaha is a sleeping giant.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's so for real. I mean, if Democrats vote, especially Black voters vote, you win.
Well, if Black voters vote, they win.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, honest to God.
Yeah, and that's what needs to change. And I understand why people haven't voted. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to feel like your vote counts. It's hard to feel like anything's going to change. And politicians say a lot of stuff. I listen to politicians a lot these days. They say a lot, but they don't necessarily mean it. So I'm here telling people, take a chance on me. I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and get to work for you.
Now, I haven't heard that really from the bottom up. Better decisions are made, and great leaders always, always listen.
That's right.
Before they make a decision. I was involved with the lead, so I know in regards to the effects of education and decision making when it comes to that for young people and later in life. So now 4-year journey. It's down to 3 weeks. It's crunch time. Is there anything that you need now?
Yeah,
are you still needing volunteers? Are you still taking donations? Are you?
Absolutely. We need all of the above. We welcome all levels of donations. I run a grassroots campaign. I do not take corporate PAC money in my campaign. That is very different than my opponent. And so $1, $2, whatever anybody can give, we welcome.
Now, why don't you take corporate PAC money?
Because I don't think that politicians. So let's actually look at the way that politics works right now.
Okay.
We'll take somebody, I don't know, we'll take John Bacon, for example.
Yeah, that's your opponent. Get him, girl.
He's taken hundreds of thousands of dollars from pharmaceutical companies and from insurance companies, and then he passes legislation that benefits them. And I think we need people to be beholden to the constituents of their district,
right? Not
to the large corporations. And that's not to say we don't work with corporations. Of course we will. But it's different when a corporation whose bottom line is making money is able to get that doorway into that politician who then does things for them. And oftentimes those corporations will write the legislation and just hand it to the congressperson or the senator.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And anybody who says that this doesn't happen is lying.
Ms. Eastman, you are 100% correct. I will back you up 100%. I go to DC and I lobby, for my community. I don't have no money though to give them. I just try to get their heart. But she's totally correct. I don't think we're gonna get anything realistic because both sides are taking money.
That's right.
Both sides are taking money.
Yep.
And I tease people about earmarks. We want to earmark too.
Right.
Designate towards small business loan, low interest business loan, or even grants that's going to give young people an opportunity to, like you said, retrain.
Yep.
And so those are great earmarks. Not a bridge to nowhere, but an earmark that's tangible, that's measurable.
Yep.
Which is crucial. Which is what you've done in your past or current employment.
Right.
You have to evaluate, measure, and then see what kind of outcomes are going to happen.
Yes. Well, and a lot of people ask me, what am I going to do directly for North Omaha, right? Because I get that. I'm a white woman running for office here. But if I can, let me read you just some of the things that my opponent has done.
Okay.
He just voted against the Justice in Policing Act. He fought alongside Trump to kill the Affordable Care Act. He voted with Trump to allow auto lenders to charge minorities higher rates on car loans just because of the color of their skin. He voted with Trump against bipartisan legislation to restore the Voting Rights Act. He voted with Trump against bipartisan legislation that would stop corporations from tricking employees into signing away their right to sue for discrimination. He voted against a bipartisan measure to require mortgage lenders to undergo anti-discrimination training, even though persistent mortgage lending discrimination fueled the black-white wealth gap. He voted repeatedly against condemning Trump's racist tweets that told minority congresswomen who were born in the United States to go back to the countries they came from. And he has never acknowledged Trump's problematic rhetoric on race. He says things like he disagrees with racism, the white supremacy is gross, but he doesn't call the president out for this stuff. And he votes with him 93% of the time.
So it's time for a change, Ms.
It is absolutely time for a change.
Without a doubt. How can people get in contact with you to help you out in your campaign?
Our website is eastmanforcongress.com. I'm on Facebook at Eastman for Congress, Twitter at Cara for Congress, and Instagram at Cara for Congress.
Now, people are always, and I was talking about this earlier, when we talk about SNAP and all these other things that help out the, I call them poor. I call them broke versus poor. We're just a little broke right now.
That's right.
The governor expanding Medicaid. What's your thoughts on that? Because it's been 2 years too late or?
Yeah, I mean, the voters voted for it in 2018. He blocked it until this year. And then, with SNAP, like we were the only state in the country that didn't expand SNAP benefits through the pandemic. It's we've got, we need to make some changes, Nebraska. We can do better than this.
Right. A lot of people don't realize they always want to target minority women, but there's actually more white women that's receiving those benefits.
That's right.
And so we really gotta not let sound bouts or feelings or about each other, cloud our judgment, because it's actually hurting all of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually hurting all of us. Well, 4 years, you say it's been worth it. The last time you was in here, your daughter she was young. So how is your daughter now?
She's 19. We sent her away to college and they made her come back. But she's here now, distance learning with some friends who are working on the campaign, and she's doing well.
Okay, great. Now, you still doing your business?
Yeah, so I have a business that I started the day after the election in 2018 that does nonprofit consulting, and we have a couple of clients still that we're working with, but kind of winding down now with 3 weeks left for the election.
What's any more debates coming up?
We have one more debate coming up Sunday night on KETV.
Okay, how do you feel that you did in the 2 previous?
3 previous, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody who debates says they won, but but we were pleased. I mean, we've been pleased. He's taken a different tone this time. He's the number 1 most vulnerable Republican in Congress right now.
Okay.
So he's in the fight for his job,
right,
and his pension, frankly. And so he's definitely attacking me a little more than he used to.
Uh-huh.
And frankly, last night we heard him say things that are just not true. So it's been interesting to debate, but I feel like my goal is just to let people know how bad his voting record has been.
Man, so do you the great, remember, I don't know if you know Sonny Foster.
I did, yeah. So I moved here right after Sonny passed.
Okay.
But I was involved with the community, the Lead Site Community Advisory Group,
mm-hmm.
and he was involved in that. So I can't tell you the number of times that people referenced Sonny.
Well, I was one of his mentees. He always taught there's no permanent enemies, no permanent friends. There's only permanent issues.
Wow.
Well, what's your stance on that? Do you get tied up in the emotional side? Just because you might disagree with someone yesterday that you might agree with today, because when we send you to Washington, D.C., you're going to have that type of relationships.
That's right. Yeah. I'm not a grudge holder. And there have been, when you run for office like this, you open yourself up. And there are a lot of people who don't like me for a lot of different reasons. And I just keep telling everybody, when I win, I will represent this entire district. And actually, what's one of the advisory groups we want to create? We want to actually create a group of people who don't like my policies, who actually don't like me, because what we have right now is such a partisan divide. The president of the United States does not believe that he represents Democrats.
Right.
Don Bacon doesn't really believe he represents Democrats. That's not okay. So as a Democrat in the city, does that mean that my mayor, my congressperson, my senators, and my governor don't represent me? Because I'm a citizen of the United States. I deserve representation too.
Right. Well, Omaha, we have to vote. We have the numbers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We have the numbers.
Yep.
We just gotta get motivated and working on it. And I've been preaching this and constantly. We are the direct children. If you're under 50, I think probably 56, you are the direct representative from the past legislation that was passed in the 60s. They dot on 5 for us to even have this position, and then we squander it away, which is very disappointing. Very disappointing. Miss Eastman is obviously you have a great heart. Anytime someone comes to and do something for children, that's powerful. That's powerful. Now you want to help the adults and the children. That's even better. That's even better.
Adults need help too.
Now, legislation. The fourth. What is your agenda? What what effect do you want to leave? I know you just don't want to be a regular congressperson.
No, I want to go get things done. And I mean, anybody running for Congress right now has got to prioritize getting people back to work safely. I mean, so many people have lost their job. A lot of two-parent households or, two-person households where one person's going back to work, the other person's staying home with the kids. We all want our kids back in school safely. But we've got to jumpstart this economy. And that's going to mean prioritizing investments in neighborhoods, in areas like North O, where we need better public transportation. We need good paying jobs. And we need to rebuild neighborhoods that have been traditionally ignored.
Right.
And I really worry about this, that, having worked in North and South Omaha for 12 years and seeing the living conditions that a number of people have, these areas have been traditionally ignored or underrepresented.
Right.
What happens after the pandemic?
Right.
We've already seen it. With the first round of the CARES Act, the LA Lakers got money.
No, poor people, broke people never got no money. They still ain't getting no money.
Yeah.
They're still in the lines in unemployment lines. People are still waiting weeks and months to even get unemployment.
Well, and a one-time check for $1,200 only goes so far.
That's nothing, really. $1,200, that's nothing.
Right.
It's wintertime coming up, and these old houses, gas bills $400-500 just like that.
That's right.
Easy.
Yeah. So that's the priority, is make sure that whatever stimulus we have, whatever COVID relief we have, gets money directly into the hands of regular people who need it the most. People are facing evictions, people who think that they might get kicked out of their house, people who've got to put food on their table. We had somebody reach out to us, a mom who's living in her car right now with her kid, and she was embarrassed and she didn't want us to help her, but we did. And it meant that she was able to eat. It meant that she was able to buy her kids school supplies, and hopefully it will mean that she'll be able to find a place to live. Yeah,
it's tough out here. And today we call it Tell the Truth Tuesday. We appreciate you coming in here, Miss Kara, telling the truth. Now, Omaha is a great philanthropic community.
Yes.
I go everywhere and they say, man, you get that kind of money, you get that kind of grant, but yet we still are broke. How can we facilitate? We got the Berkshire Hathaway. People come in and we got all these conventions coming in, communicating, negotiating, planning, and implementing. Why can't that be done? We got the richest people per capita in the country here, couple billionaires running around here. Why can't we just sit down and come up with an agenda plan that is the model for the United States? We got the intelligence here.
That's right. Well, and we have done some things along those lines, right? If we look at 75 North, purpose-built community. I mean, Warren Buffett was one of the brainchildren of that. And that's, Othello did an amazing job getting that started. There's been great movement there. That could be a model for the country, but we just need a lot more of it. And it's not always about throwing money at a problem. We need a comprehensive approach. We need people who actually have a vested interest in this community to have a seat at the table, because this isn't about rich people coming in and saying, here's what you need, North Omaha. This is about North Omaha saying, here's what we want. Let's put it together.
Your philosophy of the bottom up versus the top bottom. We every community have a problem with their leadership. I don't care if they're black, white, Mexican, Chinese. They all have a problem with their leadership. Is it because it's coming from the top down versus the bottom up? Is that how you're going to govern? Because to me, that makes a difference.
Yeah. Well,
because right now it's too much top down.
That's right.
Because they get paid by the lobbyists. So it's top down. They don't care if nobody on down below them because they're getting all the money up top.
Yeah, and exactly. This is not about left versus right. This is about top versus down. You're absolutely right. And when we have politicians, and look, the number one question I get asked is, how are you going to avoid becoming corrupt? And that tells you something a lot about what people think of our political system. Right. But I've never done stuff for money. I've made good money in social work. I could probably go anywhere and make any amount of money that I wanted to. I'm a hard worker. I'm smart. I've got, degrees. I'm white. I have privilege. But this is what I'm choosing to do. And I believe that the government should be a mission-based organization, just like the nonprofits that I run have been. Okay. And I believe we need transparency. People don't mind paying taxes.
Right.
They just want to pay their fair share. They want to see corporations paying their fair share. They don't want to see people like Donald Trump paying $750 in
Right.
taxes one year and zero another year. It's crazy, and it
Without a
needs to
doubt.
stop.
Without a doubt. I've had too much taxes down. Pay some of my taxes, man. You paying that low taxes for real. That is going to be the catalyst to me of victory, of the ability to listen to others.
Mhm.
That, I mean, just really simple stuff like that is really crucial. So what hasn't been discussed that's in the media that you want to clear up?
God, that I want to clear up. I think, I'm really happy with the campaign we're running. If you come into our office, if you see the events that we've had, it's been a little tough with COVID, but we're a diverse team. I believe that our campaign should represent the district. I believe that we need people to represent everybody, and that we need to do politics differently, and that we can do that. We just have to have the right people in office.
So you committed to take a diverse squad to DC also?
I already have it in place. So yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the key to success. We know that our strength comes from our diversity.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And it's not about filling positions, and it's not about quotas or pandering to people. It's about developing leadership. And if you look at my leadership team, my field director is a dreamer. She's a DACA recipient. Mm-hmm. She's one of the most talented campaign staffers in the state, if not the country. Mm-hmm. My finance director, who worked with me at Omaha Healthy Kids Alliance, who's African American, is helping me raise more money than Don Bacon has raised, and we don't take corporate PAC money. So those are $1, $5 donations. Our average donation is $15.
Okay.
I believe in developing talent, and I also believe in surrounding myself with people who are smarter than me. Mm-hmm. Because I think that that's how you learn, and that's how you grow, and that's how you're successful.
Without a doubt. A great leader always have people that are always giving advice, regardless if they want to hear it or not. So do you like yes men and yes women around you?
I don't have one on my team. Sometimes maybe I should, but no. And I mean, and this played out recently. So yesterday we had a press conference and to celebrate the fact that I had been endorsed by 50 Black leaders from North Omaha. Well, actually from all around Omaha, and also to show people our racial justice plan and our equity plan. And when we were creating our racial justice plan, we shopped that out. I sat down with one of my team members who's Black and said, okay, let's put this together, and then we're going to take it out to people in the community. We shared it with members of our team, because as a white woman, there's only so much I can relate to. Mm-hmm. And I get that. But we need people who are going to be willing to understand their deficits, mm-hmm. to understand where they don't have expertise. I can't be an expert in everything, but I'm really lucky because in Omaha, in the 2nd District, we have talent. We have amazing people doing incredible things, mm-hmm. who can tell me, here's what we need.
Right. When elected, are you just going to be like a regular congresswoman, or are you going to be someone like someone that never walked in your shoes before? I mean, we got President Ford from here. We got Senator Chambers from here. Those people that actually walked in their own shoes, blazed their own.
Yeah, I've always been my own person. I'm pretty independent minded. I haven't been always loved by my own party, let alone the other one. I wasn't recruited to run for this, and I'm not afraid to tell people when I think they're being stupid. So I'm excited to just try this out, and I just keep saying to people, put me in. Put me in and let me show you what I can do.
Well, I respect your tenacity. You have always been, to me, very sincere. And anytime you dedicate to changing the next generation lives, then I have to yield to that for sure. Omaha, Nebraska, we are talking to our next Congresswoman, Kara Eastman. She's been involved with not only lead initiatives, but just the initiative to making sure that our community is healthy. Even during this pandemic, health is crucial at this moment. Friday is the last day to register to vote to mail in ballots. The 23rd of October is the last day to register to vote. We need people to make sure you vote. Register to vote is crucial that we participate in the change. Ms. Eastman, is there anything that we didn't discuss today that you want to make sure that we get across?
Well, I think what you just said is the most important thing right now. We just need everybody to get out and vote. And there are great people running up and down the ballot. It's really exciting to think about electing Kamala Harris to be vice president. It's exciting on so many levels to have a woman, to have a Black woman. Just incredible opportunity for all of us to make history, like you said. But there are people running for the state legislature, city council, or county boards. Like there's just great people that we have in our community who've stepped up and said that they were going to run. And some of these people haven't held public office before, or they don't have family that have held public office. And so I'm just excited for November 3rd.
Well, Omaha, the Birds, the Bluffs, Council Bluffs, we can include you in this. You guys got to vote also on the same date. And then you take money from everywhere, right?
We get money from all over the country. Yep.
Okay. So you'll take money from PACs.
From corporate PACs.
From corporate PACs.
Right.
Okay.
And I think that people ask the difference between that. So think about something like the Sierra Club, for example.
Okay.
They're a PAC. They give us money. Their bottom line is saving the planet.
Right.
Pharmaceutical company. Their bottom line is making money.
Without a doubt. And then all the active ingredients get into the water system. And, oh, Lord have mercy. We need some help down here. Ms. Eastman, you are necessary. You are necessary. If no one's told you, you are necessary.
Thank you.
So keep doing what you're doing. I believe for a fact we need way more women leadership, women decision makers. My mother made great decisions, even though she couldn't read or write. She made great decisions in our household because look at me now, baby. Look at me now. And so we need more women that have been under the pressure of with the lack of finances, the lack of love, whatever it is, but they still persevere. We need that kind of thinking in Washington, D.C. And women are hard. You guys don't get bought out like men. Men get bought out like ain't nothing. $5, men get bought out. But women have more integrity. To me, that's just the way it is. Don't get mad at me, man. I was raised by women. And they got a little bit more integrity. And so we need some more decision makers. That's why I'm tough on these male preachers. You need less some women preachers in there. Maybe salvation will be a lot quicker for everybody. Ms. Eastman, we appreciate you. I'm glad you came in.
Thank you.
We're gonna get you on the air. I was on your campaign manager. Don Bacon got ads running. We can't have that. He got ads, and you don't have no ads. We can't have that. That's we fair and balanced over here, Mr. Eastman.
All right.
All right. We appreciate you. Today is 4:43. Let me see if I got any questions online before you get out of Mr. Eastman. Let me see if I got any questions online. You got a lot of praise. Flip bacon. They said flip bacon. You got a lot of flip bacons. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see. You got people saying vote, flip bacon. Everybody say you're 10. We can do this. Dems taking over. We changing things on November 3rd. Carol, we're going to get you elected. Carol, let's go. Okay, all right. So you got a high squad over there. You got a lot of cheerleaders. All right, so again, we should appreciate you guys looking at us on Facebook and YouTube. I got a call from La Vista today. They said that we got a little static. I said, man, download the app. Download the app. It's crystal clear. It's crystal clear, y'all. And so again, we appreciate you guys supporting a station. Also supporting Miss Eastman. I got a sign in my yard. I got a love sign over there. I got about 4 or 5 signs that I put in my yard. So I am a Democrat. I am kind of biased, My mama voted for the first time for Obama during the electoral college. So this district is in the running for electoral college vote again, mainly because of your race.
Well, all eyes in the country are on this district because of the electoral college vote. And there are some people saying that our electoral college vote could be the deciding factor as to whether or not Joe Biden becomes president. That's a little scary to think about.
It is.
But it's true. And so this is why we can't be complacent. We can't rest until we've all voted. And we have an opportunity to really change things.
After all this stuff, it's still close.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep.
I really can't.
Well, I mean, look at 2016. Like, nobody thought Donald Trump was going to be president. So we can't ever be complacent. And we run like we're 10 points behind.
Okay. So, victory party. Where your victory party is going to be open to the public? So I got foresight. I already see.
I know, but with COVID and everything, it's just hard to do stuff. Rates are going up in our community. Rates are going up in our state. So unfortunately, I mean, we're not doing anything for the night, anything for the public the night of the election. But at some point, there will be a safe outdoor event to celebrate my victory, even if it's in a blizzard, because it will be a beautiful day for Nebraska.
Without a doubt. When Obama took a sworn office, it was very cold that day. It was very, 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 very cold.
Yeah.
That day. So no, we're gonna let temperature stop us. We Huskers, baby.
That's right.
That's what we do. Bring the cold on, without a doubt. Miss Cara Eastman. Now, why do you spell your name? Pronounce your name Cara? Because everybody say Cara.
I know, but I don't pronounce my name that way. My parents named me that. You got to take it up with them, but they're in heaven, so that's going to be a little hard for you to do.
Okay, all right. Well, everybody got their own unique flavor.
Yeah,
they
named me Cara.
Yeah. All right, Cara, we appreciate it. So y'all get it right, not Cara. Cara. She will correct you, Cara. How can they get in contact with your campaign again?
Yep, EastmanForCongress.com, Cara for Congress on Twitter, Eastman for Congress on Facebook, Cara for Congress on Instagram. We're pretty easy to find. And it's funny now, if you Google me, the first thing that comes up is some stupid attack site calling me loony and loud. It's actually funny, the picture that they're using, saying that like I'm causing, starting trouble in the streets or whatever, is a picture of me at the Cinco de Mayo parade from a couple of years ago. Oh. But I'm not loony. I'm not loud. I just want to actually represent the people of the district.
Interesting. I was at the last. I went to a Don Klein event, and I think someone mentioned your name.
I'm sure they did. Yeah.
Someone mentioned your name, and I think they mentioned that you made a comment when the Skurlock situation was going on, and I think Brother Klein said it was irresponsible or whatever. When we look at politics, it's important that we work with all levels of government.
That's right.
Is that something that you avidly going to do? Because the Republicans are doing it on their side.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, and that's what I've done in my career here in Omaha. I mean, when I started Omaha Healthy Kids, the lieutenant governor of Nebraska was the chair of our board. I worked with Senator Mike Johans. He was the only Republican that sponsored a bill in the Senate called the Healthy Housing Council Act. He was the only Republican that would sign on to it. And that was because of my work. So I'm used to working with Republicans, but I think that it's a shame when the tragedy of the killing of James Skurlock is made political in any way. And I call things as I see them. It was reported in the World Herald that was a homicide. Mm-hmm. Well, that homicide means of or relating to murder.
Right. Well, the grand jury.
I was so glad to see, as I think a lot of people were, that Don Klein reversed his decision to call for the grand jury trial. That was the right thing to do. And they indicted Jake Gardner. Right. And based on the evidence that they saw. But I think that, to call me out for calling out something as it was, and we all know that if the situation had been reversed, people wouldn't have necessarily blinked an eye. And so we have to have politicians who are willing to sit down with everybody and work with everybody, but also to say there is systemic racism in this country. and we need to address it now. It's actually far past time that we address it.
Right. Well, I appreciate your candor, your honesty, but also I appreciate you having the tough talks, because some people avoid it. Some people avoid the truth. They just stay silent and not saying anything at all. Like I said, you are necessary, without a doubt. Without a doubt, we need people to speak out and speak up.
Thank you.
Regardless, it's necessary. Omaha, the burbs, the bluffs, we have been blessed to have spent some time with our next congresswoman. She's been at this for 4 years. She's up in the polls. Who did the last poll?
There were 2 polls that were done within the last couple of weeks. One was by it's like one group funds them, another pollster does them, but
Right.
But I'm up in both of them, and so and that's why there's so many attack ads out there against me.
Interesting. Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. Well, you're not a freshman no more.
No.
You graduated before you got your 4-year degree, and hopefully, you'll get your diploma on the 3rd.
I sure hope so.
Omaha, Nebraska, the burbs, the bluffs. We are talking to our neighbor. Oh yeah, Miss Cara Eastman. She is bidding to run. Actually, she's running to be our next congresswoman. Without a doubt, baby. All Omaha, all the state. Can you be the congresswoman for the whole state? Take
Nope.
everybody else out.
You'd have to run for Senate for that one.
Okay. Well, she's bidding to be our next congresswoman. If you want to help her out in her campaign, please go to
EastmanForCongress.com.
You can still donate, volunteer.
Absolutely.
Because of the corona, you can still make phone calls.
Phone calls, text banking. Yeah, we've got all kinds of things for people to do. And I have an issues page on my website where people can go and see the things that I'm advocating for: raising the minimum wage, decriminalizing cannabis, things that I strongly believe in. And those are all on our page, as well as our equity plan, which was in response to people saying, what are you going to do for me that will directly impact the district?
Mm-hmm.
And then also our racial justice plan. Great.
Well, I'm glad you're running. I cannot wait for election day. It's gonna be like remember the Olympics when the hockey team beat the Russians? Do you believe in miracles?
Exactly.
All right, Miss Eastman. Do you believe in miracles?
Oh, I sure do.
Without a doubt. Oh yeah, let's make it happen November 3rd. Let's make it happen. Have you heard about November 3rd? I have. Make sure you guys get registered to vote by the 23rd of October. If you're doing a mail-in ballot, don't mail it in. Do not mail it in. Take it to the election commission yourself, or drop it in one of the mail drop box. Excuse me, not one of the election drop box by a local library. Here in North Omaha is at the Washington Branch Library. There are drop-off boxes all around the city in West Omaha, South Omaha. Just call your local library and you can drop it off, and so you have to worry about postage at all. All right. They are purposely trying to stop us from not voting. They are purposely trying to put roadblocks so you don't vote, y'all. And for those out there, and I've been having a discussion for the last 3 days with non-voters. Mm-hmm. They don't vote. So I call them names, Missy. I call them names. I call them a name. And I asked them the question: are you going to continue to allow someone else to make decisions for you and your family? That's really the question.
Yeah.
If they don't participate, please participate in the process. Let's put people in there that's actually going to listen to us and move our agenda forward. Miss Eastman said that she listened from the bottom up. To me, that's the best leader. That's the best leader. When there's no child left behind, and it takes a village to raise a child. And so when you come from that philosophy, that means you listen to everyone input before you make decisions. I like that philosophy. Miss Eastman, you are necessary. Anything that we didn't discuss before we get out of here?
I think we covered it.
Okay, all right. Hopefully we cover everything. I try to keep it an hour, y'all. I got 6 more minutes. I'm trying to stretch it. It's 4:54, y'all. Again, it's the 13th of October. Today is Tell the Truth Tuesday. We are a research station. I brag of my education. You see, I got my seat. So I got my stuff right here.
Nice.
My cotton said, hey, I'm about it because my mama picked cotton for y'all for free. And so, no, for real, let's participate in the process, y'all. This is the only way we can make change. I am a direct, and the reason why I brag on my education because my mom picked cotton. They couldn't go to school. That was done on purpose. But their hard work, their sacrifice allowed me to go to school. And so that's why I brag off my education. Mm-hmm. And so this is the same thing. What is done today affects things tomorrow. All right.
Have you been encouraging people to write in love?
Heck yeah! What I got his dial over there, and I got his campaign, and hopefully we'll bring him in because we want people to write too. You know, just write 4 more letters. Still scribbling.
That's right.
Write
for Senate.
Yeah, for Senate, not for Congress. For
not
Senate.
For Congress, please. Just for Senate.
Yeah. All right, we out of here, y'all. Boss with us.
It's just a public service announcement.
Are you tired of hearing about the coronavirus?
Coronavirus!
Well, it's real.
I'm telling you, it's real.
Now here's what I want you all to do for me. Yo, check this out, man.
Don't panic. If you're sick, stay home.
Stay away from me. It's contagious.
Stay at least 6 feet away from others.
The most dangerous disease. Coronavirus!
Wash your hands frequently and practice good hygiene.
Trying to show these people what time it is, boy.
We can stop the spread of the virus.
Coronavirus! Cover your mouth. Say it. You're contagious.
So stay home. Stop the spread. Save lives. Most importantly, let's check on our elderly.
Word up. You ain't going out like that.
We're here to keep you informed.
Coronavirus! Just get it real.
In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.
I'm LaVon Stennis Williams. I voted Democrat my entire life, but come November, I'll be voting for my first Republican, Don Bacon. If you look at his record, you'll see he cares. From ushering in legislation for criminal justice reform to bringing in $25 million for low-income housing and the opportunity zones. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And Don Bacon has shown he cares for everyone. Don Bacon is the ally we need in Congress.
I'm Don Bacon, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Don Bacon for Congress.
Are you a business person fed up with working for someone else? Are you in sales and tired of traveling for and selling for a company you don't own? You could partner with iTex, the country's largest retail trade exchange. iTex helps individuals and businesses increase sales, move idle inventory, open new markets, and build cash profit. Now is a great time to partner with us in this fast-growing business. Visit omaha.itex.com. Become an iTex partner. Visit omaha.itex.com.
This right here for my oodles and noodles babies. His mom was smoking crack while she was pregnant, so he can't even help that he crazy. He going to jail, it's inevitable. For real. Ain't had nobody to give me no hope. I hope my mama ain't doing no coke. I used to wish that my daddy was living. I had a dream that I seen him as ghost. I used to act up when I went to school. Thought it was cool, but I really was hurt. Wanted my family to cut in my games. My mama couldn't make it cause she was at work. Remember my grandma, she took me to church. Really, no, I ain't wanna go. Remember I kissed my aunt in the casket and her forehead was cold. I was like 4 years old. We couldn't afford no clothes. It was hand-me-down. Who would think get a Grammy now? Got a black judge trying to tear me down. All the jail time probably wear me down. Turn the lights off in the bathroom. Screaming bloody, bloody, bloody Mary now. Having nightmares about Candyman. With the tool on me like a handyman. Kill my little cousin, I like damn it, man. Had to see the footage on the cameraman. On the pavement with his brains out. With the white sheet, he was laid out. Wanna ask Shay, is this a choice? It was like this when I came out. What the f*** is you really complaining about? I know that's never gonna make it out. Just that shit you won't see in the media. Poogie pouring the rich getting greedier. A lot of daddies going back and forth out of jail. A lot of